You are seething. You are seething at the title of this video right now. And it kind of makes me laugh because obviously it's very tongue-in-cheek. I'm playing into a character with this Metroid Dread thing, but we got some interesting information today that we definitely have to talk about when it comes to Metroid Dread. Is Metroid Dread Metroid dead? Well, we'll get into that in just a minute, but obviously all of this is stemming from the latest NPD sales for the Nintendo Switch, which of course tracks hardware and software sales in the United States for the previous month. Now, obviously, November is going to be a very big month for both hardware and software manufacturers and publishers because, hey, people are out there getting Black Friday deals, they're picking up video games for the holiday season, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, whatever you celebrate. You probably want a video game when you celebrate it because, I mean, I sure as hell do. I'm hoping for some Amazon or GameStop gift cards, because that's the kind of stuff I like, and that's what I need. That's what a 36-year-old man needs. Video games for Christmas. But alas, we got some interesting information from this, mostly on the positive side of things, with two very interesting stories stemming from this, and then the Metroid story. So the good things are that the Nintendo Switch was actually the best-selling system in the month of November, once again topping the NPD charts, and it sold about 1.3 million units in the month of November. So once again, that shouldn't come as a huge surprise. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch is a lot easier to get your hands on than something like the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, but still, the system is pretty old by now. You would think that most people who wanted a Nintendo Switch would indeed have a Nintendo Switch. So impressive numbers, you can't downplay the success of the system worldwide, and it's been very fruitful for Nintendo. Is Nintendo getting maybe a little bit complacent with the Switch now? Who's to say? I think things could definitely be better. I do talk a lot about some of the downsides of the system, but at the end of the day, it's still my most played system, even though, I don't know, my Series X is definitely starting to catch up with all these Halo Infinite multiplayer games, because that's what we're running at night. But I think the bigger story from this is looking at the NPD charts for the Nintendo Switch when it comes to the 10 best-selling games for the month of November. There's a big inclusion there that I honestly didn't expect to be there. You can look at the list here and see some titles, a lot of evergreen titles. Obviously, Animal Crossing New Horizons is always going to be on there, but Shin Megami Tensei 5 coming in at number 6. That makes it the best-selling Shin Megami Tensei game to date as far as the launch month is concerned. Now, I don't think Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to sell like a billion copies or anything like that, but it's very interesting to see that an RPG, a very traditional, almost a niche RPG, especially in the United States, is doing so successfully, and I can't blame the game for doing very well. I honestly really enjoyed my time with this game. I've still been playing it some. I haven't finished it yet or anything because it's a pretty meaty adventure, and like I said in my video, it can be pretty challenging even if you're playing it on the lower difficulties, but it's a really good game. It's a really good game for the Nintendo Switch, and it's a very popular franchise, at least within the cult RPG communities. Like I said, I wasn't super familiar with it. I played one of them on the PlayStation 2. I owned one on the Nintendo DS that I played a bunch, but that was like from a first-person perspective, more of a dungeon crawler style, which is what the roots of the series are. But as far as the traditional RPG turn-based style that we have seen with the previous Shin Megami Tensei games, this game is absolutely killing it, and I think it deserves it. Like I said, if you haven't checked out my video on Shin Megami Tensei 5, or if you're a noob to the franchise like I was, because like I said, I've played very minimal of these games beforehand, make sure you guys go check that out. I think it's a really under the radar game, and really it's one of the best games of 2021, like I said in my video from earlier today, or actually yesterday, whatever, I get confused, I upload so many videos. But here's the meat and potatoes of the story, folks, because looking at this top 10 chart for the NPD sales for the Nintendo Switch in the month of November, you might notice something is, well, missing. It's missing. It's not on this list, and that is Metroid Dread. Now, before you get angry, I love Metroid Dread. I love the game. I want to see it do well. If I have to play Balan Wonderworld, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I actually want to play that game because it would get me lots of views, because it's kind of been hyped up so much that this battle I have, this struggle I have with Balan Wonderworld, because it's a piece of shit and it ruined my life, and it really made me angry because that son of a bitch with his little top hat, he looks like Knight and he acts like Knight. God, Jesus. Anyways, getting back to Metroid Dread. Now this game, like I said, It was always going to sell very well when it first came out. It would probably be one of the fastest selling Metroid games to date because of the fact that there's a lot of Metroid fans out there. The problem is these games never really have legs. They never really sell great long term. And that was my whole point talking about Metroid Dread leading up to this moment, was the fact that I thought it was going to sell great initially because Metroid fans like me would pick up this game, possibly buy multiple copies of this game. I was concerned about the legs of this game. And as you can see, right here, black and white, clear as crystal, on the November 2021 US Top 10 Video Games for the Nintendo Switch, there's no Metroid Dread. Now, we did learn from Matt Piscatella, who is the one who reports this information, that Metroid Dread was actually number 11. He sort of equated a lot of these things to more evergreen titles, people picking up a Nintendo Switch and then picking up a very popular game for the holiday season, plus the fact that a game like Mario Kart Live Home Circuit saw a very steep sale, alongside of the fact that this game just got a brand new update. But Shin Megami Tensei 5 is number 6 on that list. How many copies of Shin Megami Tensei 5 do you think sold in the month of November for the Nintendo Switch? Millions? No, I don't think so. A couple 100,000 maybe. Millions though? No, we're not going to say that because these games never really sell above 1 million. Like, that's just factual. You can look it up and see that Shin Megami Tensei games, if they sell, over 500,000 copies, that's considered a massive success. Metroid Dread not being on this list, I honestly feel is very concerning. Yes, it's still at number 11 and that's fine. Now, I actually had someone reach out to me and give me some sales data for Metroid Dread. Now, I can't confirm this sales data, so I'm not going to say their name and I'm not going to say the figures, but they have this as basically me playing Balan Wonderworld sooner rather than later. I just can't verify that information though, and everything that I see from my perspective, when I look at Amazon charts, when I look at Nintendo Switch eShop charts for every single region, shows exactly what I was saying with this game. Metroid Dread is gonna sell great when it first comes out. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Metroid fans have wanted this game for a long time. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, it's about the casual audience. It's about getting the casual audience to pick up this game. I still think Metroid Dread is going to sell 2 to 2.5 million in its first year, which would be extremely successful for a Metroid game, especially a 2D Metroid game. But when you look at the best-selling game of all time in the Metroid franchise, Metroid Prime, like I always say, it had the capture ability of the casual audience because it was the best looking game on consoles at that time frame. Point blank, period. There was no other games that looked that good on any other platform. Whereas with Metroid Dread, you're looking at a 2D game. So I think it's going to be very interesting. I just wanted to make a clickbaity title for you guys because, I like to invoke emotions from you guys, whether it's positive or negative. What are you gonna do? You can dislike the video? You can't see dislikes anymore. I'm obviously just kidding with that. But I do hope for success with Metroid Dread because I want more Metroid games. I want there to be a stronger focus on Metroid Prime 4 coming out because I think that's going to be the game that eclipses 3 million rather easily and will be the best-selling Metroid game of all time because it has those fancy 3D visuals why the hell did I say that? Visuals that the casual people will look at and be like, wow, this game looks great. I need to play this game. Whereas a 2D hardcore platforming Metroid game definitely has a more limited appeal. When you look at games within the genre that are very popular, games like Hollow Knight and stuff, those games never sniffed 3 million. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting though. I think the longer we go on and the quieter Nintendo stays on this topic without saying like, oh, Metroid Dread is the best-selling Metroid game of all time or something like that, should be very telling about this. You got to remember, the best-selling Metroid game is 2.9 million with Metroid Prime on the GameCube. And ever since then, it's been a steady decline. Japan has always picked up Metroid at the start a little bit and then just sort of forgotten about it. The only game that ever sold 1 million plus in the Metroid franchise in Japan was, of course, the original game on the Famicom, Metroid. So it's an uphill battle. It's a battle that I hope they win because, like I said, I hate this son of a bitch right here. This guy right here, I hate him. I hate him. And if I have to play him, you guys are going to watch it because you're going to want to watch me suffer. However, I just don't feel like I'm going to have to play him. I might still play him though. You know what? Even if I lose the bet, I might still play it because I just wanted to prove a point with this bet that, yeah, Metroid is great. People love Metroid. It's just that maybe not enough people love Metroid. So let me know what you think of this in the comments section down below. On a scale of 1 to 10, how seething are you at the title of this video? Because I'm sure there'll be some very mean comments in the comments section because I don't know. Like, what do you want me to do? I don't speak in you know, what could be when it comes to things like sales data. I just look at the actual stuff that we have, and the actual stuff that we have just doesn't look too promising. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. Be sure to check out the other videos on the channel. There's lots of other crap that I've uploaded over the past few days. Check out the live channel with my interview with Jeff Keighley from his little Twitter Spaces. I put it up over there. I'll have a link to it in the pinned comment in the comment section. Make sure you guys check that out. That channel is very close to monetization, which means that honestly, I'd probably put more effort into it because I like to make money. And of course, I'm going to be doing more live streams in 2022 on that channel. It's definitely becoming a focus. I sort of give a little brief at the start of that interview. So make sure you guys go check that out. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.